Hello everybody, CritCrab here with another story. This one about a guy who pretended to be black so that he could make an offensive stereotype out of his character, and much, much worse. So without further ado, let's get right into this one. Roll post. Trigger warnings for racism, homo, and transphobia. We play over Discord. We've never seen each other's faces. The group is 5 people who barely know each other. Basically how everyone got in the game was DM knows a guy who knows a guy or a girl, so we were barely acquainted. I'll refer to people as their characters for convenience's sake. Characters of the story, everyone was from 18 to 27. The DM. Nate, dwarf, rogue I believe. This PC's player was the central figure of the story. The kid probably played too much GTA or something. Kron, PC of a gay black guy, which only DM knew at the time. Vera, a very shy girl, she also was, and played her character, very innocent, like, you know, the kind of people who probably don't know what sex is. That would be her. My friend and the reason I'm in the party, myself. I wasn't as big a part of the story as others, and maybe for the best. Our DM was a person who never sought conflict and tried to make everyone bear with each other. He also was pretty permissive about a lot of stuff, since his motto was, as long as you people are having fun, I'm down with anything. But even he urged the dwarf player to change his PC's name to something other than Nate Higgers. But the player was relentless, and when DM said that it could make the other party members uncomfortable, he just parried with, "Relax, I'm a N-word myself, and it doesn't offend me." Basically, it's how he got out of sticky situations. He used a lot of N-words and spoke pretty much like a black gangster stereotype from GTA games or old movies. And every time he was called out, it was either, "Relax, I'm a N-word," or "Is this because I'm black?" It's a good time to remember that most of us are, except Kron if I remember correctly, from Eastern European countries, though we spoke English anyway, where you don't really see black people much. So it's not like we knew how a real black person would sound or behave. Probably not like this. Also, racism is not as much of an issue here because of the aforementioned situation. So the stuff that would make the entirety of Twitter go into righteous fury isn't as offensive to us. Although somewhat uncomfortable with it since all of us, with the exception of Nate, are somewhat left. You would probably ask, why did he play as a dwarf exactly? I will tell you, but I sure as bloody hell hope this won't inspire anyone to implement this shitty attempt at racist humor into their campaign, world novel, or what the fuck ever. Just make a silent promise that you won't, okay? Please? You promise? Thank you. Here goes. He made his character a dwarf only to call everyone and everything diggers. Because apparently he was an ex-miner, and miners are something of a lower class in dwarven society in that world, or dwarves are looked down upon by humans. I don't know. Yes, it might have been somewhat funny for some of us the first time, but we didn't expect that for the duration of 3 to 4 sessions he would keep doing that to everyone. Especially with him pronouncing it like it was a well-known slur. Vera and Kron probably had the worst of him. I got away. I'm not the kind of girl he would flirt with, and I have a temper akin to that of a full fuel can thrown into a campfire for reasons I won't get into. Vera, though, like I said, was like a little innocent angel, and Nate, mostly in character, but I'm not going to be surprised if he tried to flirt with her out of character, tried to make moves at her. I'll spare the details because this post is already brimming with questionable and generally frowned upon stuff, but she politely declined, to which he responded, "Oh no." I'll try this one more time. "What, you think black cock too big for you?" Yes, his dwarf also had black skin. I think he explained it with coal or something. He also tried several times to play that scene from Full Metal Jacket, you know, the one with the me very horny girl and the black soldier. Kron told him to shut it and explained that he was, in fact, black, and Nate immediately began trying to apologize. But then he started to try and befriend him as a fellow N-word. It was as weird as you can imagine. Also, a detail I forgot to mention, Nate was really homophobic. Like, old Hollywood Undead songs level of homophobic. Whenever our DM would introduce a non-straight character, Nate would try to do something weird with them. The worst one was probably when he tried to force himself on the friendly condottiere? Don't know what that word means. I'm gonna look that up. Oh, who was a trans man, because he wanted to show him that, quote, she's a woman despite what she thinks. Our little gangster got his ass kicked, thankfully. Rogue versus fighter isn't really a fair fight, especially with the latter being what was basically a mercenary captain. Him and Kron later worked out a love relationship that started because of common disdain for Nate. So I guess there was some wholesomeness in this trash barrage of a campaign. Why do I tell you this? Because when Nate found out that Kron was gay, their big quotes friendship had fallen apart because Nate began to try and big quotes fix him. Mostly by sending him naked women and constantly quoting that rap DMX had about having sex with the same sex or something. I don't know what happened, but after a while he calmed himself and everything went back to how things were when Nate didn't know about Kron's in real life race. I don't know why Kron straight up didn't leave. I know I would. I probably would have worked something out. And then it happened. DM and Nate were both tabletop Warhammer fans and often discussed painting of stuff and what armies they had. And so, Nate eventually slipped and sent a picture of his Lord model holding it in his hand. And his hand was that of a white man. Everyone saw that, and after several seconds he realized the mistake and deleted the message. He would almost immediately, after being called out, start saying that it was all a big joke and how he got all of you, didn't I? Oh, and the classic, you just can't take a joke. Apparently, even DM didn't know that and politely told him to please leave so it wouldn't cause a fight or anything. And he did leave. But before that, he made sure to say some unpleasant things for each one of us, especially Kron. He called the DM a traitor for turning against him when it counted, left, and apparently blocked everyone. Epilogue. The campaign continued for 2 more sessions, uncomfortably and awkwardly, but eventually the group chat was less and less active. Eventually, everyone just stopped asking when the next game was, and now it's just sitting on everyone's Discord server list sidebar. Last message is dated 23/02/21. Everyone's still there for some reason. Postscript. I hope that if Crab makes a video of this post, hey Crit, I hope you're doing well. Hey, thank you, I am. People will see this as a warning and a word of caution and not a funny guy be racist, I laugh. Because that's not what I'm writing about. Don't pretend to be someone you're not and make a complete mockery out of it. I actually think that maybe Nate didn't even consider himself a racist and thought he wasn't offensive. He just consumed too much black-related destructive pop culture. Postscript. I write this from my alternative account. I don't want to participate in any kind of discussion. Share anyone's contacts or reveal more details. I also apologize if there was anything offensive I said since I can't really compare it to anything. Postscript. This is not the first time I tell this story, so I'll say something to prevent a certain discussion. This guy doesn't have anything to do with trans people. There's a difference between identifying as something other than your assigned gender and pretending to be black just to shout slurs at everyone and get away with it. Trans people are valid, racism is not. That was a long post, but I hope everyone takes something out of this story. Good day to all the good people. End post. Well, I guess sometimes the trash takes itself out. While I hope he eventually sees how horribly he acted and cringes at this moment for years to come, I suspect that this guy's probably just gonna gloat about this one on 4chan's poll board while festering over why he doesn't have any friends. The remedy for people like this one is quite simple actually. Give him the boot. There is no room for people who want to behave this way at the table. If it was a smaller problem, I obviously would just say that if you see players behaving in a way that makes you uncomfortable, tell them how it makes you feel and ask them to stop. In this particular instance though, that would not have worked. This would be something you take straight to the DM and try to sort out with him or her, and if that doesn't work, then finding a new group or making a new one out of existing members of the original group would be the best course of action. All in all, I feel like the best way to rate this story would be in deep cringe and deep horror, with a slight cringe tilt. Anyways, that said, I have a question here from our subreddit. CritCrab managed to spark my interest back in D&D. Hey, that's great. So I want to try and find an active group. Thing is, I'm too nervous to actually ask around on places such as r/LFG, so I come asking my fellow crabs for any help on how to properly introduce myself and overcome my nervousness. Places like r/LFG can be a bit intimidating. I have joined a good couple of games on D&D Discord servers though, and it felt a lot easier to just start chatting with people casually and then mentioning that I've been interested in playing a game after building some rapport with the community I was in. There are plenty of amazing D&D servers for finding games, like the official D&D Discord server, several other D&D content creator discords like XP to Level 3 or JoeCats, or my little crab discord. Whatever you do or join, just remember that despite the impression my videos might leave you with, the D&D community as a whole is a very friendly, accepting group, so my advice would be to simply dip your toes into a Discord server, maybe hang around a little bit to dissuade any nervousness or awkwardness you might be feeling, and when the time is right, introduce yourself as a prospective player. There are many DMs who would love to have a new or returning player like yourself, and I'm sure you'll make a cast of new friends and have a great time. That said, thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like, and subscribe to the channel to evolve to crab. Till next time.